We just recently talked about a pretty big piece of news that centers around visual effects artists, aka CG artists, who are now refusing to work with Marvel Studios because of, well, rushed productions, crazy deadlines, and all that. And in an ongoing effort to expose some of the, things going on behind the scenes, another report has popped up in that same exact post, which is from somebody that was involved with the stunts related to Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And this is a absolutely horrific tale of how Letitia Wright almost died doing a super unsafe stunt. So as most of you know, it was in the summer of last year where production of Black Panther Wakanda Forever had to be shut down because the film's co-main character, aka Shuri, was severely injured, and they would have to shut down production for multiple months, and nothing else happened really during that time that relates to her. And then there was other complications and things that went on, which we're not going to talk about. We talked about those before, but in essence, what has been posted online, and again, this is from that giant post of people just talking about working at Marvel Studios, visual effects, stunts, and all that, is essentially that in August, when we got those set photos, that Letitia was doing some stunt that involved her on a motorcycle riding on top of a car, that was the actual stunt that led to her having to go to a hospital. And essentially, in multiple paragraphs, what is revealed here is that they were personally involved with another stunt where they ended up getting hurt right along that same time frame. Essentially, they go on and explain that the stunt that they had to do was somewhat unsafe, to put it kindly. And Letitia expressed that she was not interested in doing it at the time and that she felt unsafe doing it. But again, it's Hollywood, and you just gotta push through, and we'll get this done. And what the post goes on and reveals is the fact that she was on the bike doing the stunt, and it went wrong. Essentially, she got flung off of it, landed wrong, ended up breaking her collarbone and being pretty bruised up and, obviously banged up and having a couple broken things going on, and would have to go on a 8-week hiatus on recovery, but also then that would involve additional time off with Christmas and holidays, and then getting back, to shoot everything in late January. So essentially from end of August to January, she wasn't able to do anything, was just recovering. The person that posted this also says that it's the helmet that she was wearing that more or less saved her life because of how the stunt went, and that's why she only ended up breaking her collarbone with the landing. So, So we've talked about this before in relation to comic book films and just action films in general. If you guys remember, Deadpool 2, a stunt woman was also involved in a horrific motorcycle accident and died, and there was only a $300,000 fee that they had to pay because of unsafe working conditions that Fox had for that film. Other horrific injuries and death have been common in things that include stunts like this, from Resident Evil to various other things, to even stars on sets of films not being monitored with what they're doing. We can go all the way back to DC and Heath Ledger, where it became more prominent. They were like, oh, he was doing things in his trailer and nobody bothered to check on him and things. Hollywood, what more can I say about the industry that I haven't said that relates to Ezra Miller and how they just treat them all like cattle? And this is one of those things where everything in these movies is at the point where they're doing so much of it with CG. How hard is it to CG an actor and a bike on top of a car and not risk everybody's safety and potentially risk somebody dying? Because, you're CGing Iron Man 100% of the time when he's flying. Are you telling me you can't take the same approach with a motorcycle and an actor? Because we know you can. So, honestly, man, I hope something happens with this and more people talk about things like this and hopefully safer working conditions happen. But seeing how Hollywood doesn't care, As long as their coin purse is growing, well, this is where we're at.